SAP's Western Cape's Brigadier Novella Pothelwa says it would be premature for the SAPs to give comment on the matter raised, as the Ombudsman's report is yet to be made available to management. To this story now, former President Nelson Mandela died on this day exactly 9 years ago. Madiba will forever be seen as a symbol of democracy and a unifier. We take a look at what has become of our country and if the ANC is continuing with Mandela's legacy. eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda is in Qunu, speaking to the president's family as well as relatives. Good morning, Ronald. You know, I can say with certainty that the former president's death in 2013 touched millions. I had honestly never seen so many people crying this much when he passed away, because we often see it when it's a loved one, someone very, very close to you.
Yes, indeed, Fundo. And today is a day where millions of South Africans and people around the world will be commemorating the life and times of Nelson Mandela. We are outside his home in Qunu, and this is where Madiba used to find some time to relax following a time where he was busy as a politician, and he loved living here in the rural areas of the Eastern Cape. But there's a long program ahead today. We will be visiting the Nelson Mandela Museum, where there will be a commemoration ceremony. But for now, though, let's chat to someone that Madiba adored and loved, Nkosi Zwelile Mandela. Thank you so much, Tata, for your time, Madiba. I'm sure you have fond memories.
Yeah, this is quite an emotional day for us as a family. It's a day we commemorate a husband, a father, a grandfather to some of us, and a great-grandfather to my children. So we wake up this morning and we visited the graves, where we were cleaning in the gravesite. Also, Mam Grasa went up to go and put fresh flowers on the graves. And we take the time to reflect on the lessons learned from Madiba's life. He's left us with a rich legacy of selflessness, of dedicating his 67 years of his life serving humanity. And as the current generation is to look onto that and look at the lessons we can teach to our own children and uphold as a nation.
Take us, Tata, to that night, the 5th of December. As a family, were you around or were you in Johannesburg? What was taking place?
Well, for me, it was quite a long journey, because I woke up here at home early hours at about 2 o'clock and I couldn't sleep. And I got onto the flight with an elder, Ubao Napilisi, who's my grandfather's nephew. His mother and my grandfather are brother and sister. We journeyed to Johannesburg to go and visit him. And on my arrival, I immediately went into the bedroom to find the doctors seated and attending to him. And I stood by his side, talking about his life and about how he's made us happy as a family. But most importantly, he's honored his father and his mother's legacy. And it was at that time that Mam Grasa came in and pulled a chair and sat by Madiba's side, listening as I spoke to my grandfather for a good hour, speaking about the lessons we've learned from him, how he's always been a magnet for us as a family to always come to, and I loved sitting at his feet and listening to his stories. Growing up here in Qunu, his father being forcefully removed in Mvezo and relocating to this lands, his father's passing, and the memory he has of how his father passed on, and his relocation to Mqhekezweni and growing up under the regent, then Chief Jongintaba, and sitting by the kraal in Mqhekezweni and listening at the elders discussing issues of national importance. Madiba's democracy wasn't a Western democracy or a scholar democracy, but it was from a tribal council where he listened to elders speaking about national issues, and they would take time. One would speak and finish, and the other. And these are the things that he came to cherish most and carry into his own leadership style.
Nkosi, if Madiba were to be alive today, what do you think he would have said about the current state of the country and our leaders?
We are in a very challenging space as a country and as South Africans. But Madiba and the generation that he led with were always men and women of immense challenges. You must know that the challenges that the ANC has been facing emerged from inception. We fought colonialism, we fought apartheid, we've had to overcome various challenges. But today we are facing challenges internally in the organizations, where in the past it has always been outer challenges, fighting colonialism, fighting apartheid. But now we have to face the factions within the organization. We have to face self-serving leaders that are only interested on their own pockets. And how do we rid ourselves of that? And I think as a collective, if we come together as individuals and as a collective, we can be able to find those solutions. But I think we need to be truly truthful and brutal in our own analysis of what is happening in the organization. If we do not fight corruption head on, we'll never rid ourselves of the cancer that has settled in the African National Congress. And I think also looking at new policies that need to be implemented. At the policy conference, they were talking about all the 60 years and above should take retirement and allow a new brain of thought to come in, innovative young leaders that can be able to change the surface of the organization. And I think that is what is much needed. But nothing has always stopped the ANC from coming out of its challenges. And I think that we will be able to find one another. And we hope that the National General Conference that is fast coming up on the 16th to the 20th will bring about real results.
Very quickly, just on that, Madiba was also quoted as saying that if the ANC lets its people down, people can vote for other parties. I mean, you've just mentioned that the conference is fast approaching. Why should South Africans still put their faith in the ruling party?
Madiba always believed in individuals having the ability to be able to choose their parties of their own choice and being able to exercise their right to vote. The ANC has to contest that space, has to fight for every inch. And in doing so, it has to instill hope in our people and give that confidence that it is still the party of choice for the vast majority of our people. If it is not going to deal with the brutal honesty that is facing us, of corruption, and I want to repeat this, of corruption, if we don't rid ourselves of that, then people will simply walk away and find other political homes elsewhere.
Madiba, thank you. That was Nkosi Zwelivelile Mandela speaking to us outside of this former struggle icon Nelson Mandela's home here in Qunu. It's back to you in studio.
All right, Ronald, thank you very much for that. That was eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda.